JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 13th of May 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So, the content we produce does not constitute an investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis, so feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So, now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the German DAX, just a quick update. So initially, as you can see, today we did drift lower, and look at this beautiful move. Basically, this morning I talked about this idea where my next target will be this area right here between the 14,804 and the 14,845 levels. So as well, as you can see, we've managed to reach that area perfectly. We've hit that, and we, most importantly, we rebounded from it. So now the big question here is, can we see actually this one climbing back up, back above the downside line and above the upside line and above the 21-day EMA? Will that happen? Well, again, we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll see how the US trading session is going to go ahead today and how it's going to perform today. So, long story short, basically for now, yes, it's currently trading here higher, and but still in the red zone for today, because it's still opened kind of lower. So for now, guys, basically along what I would say is that although it is tempting for the bulls here, still we would prefer to jump back, well, or to see the index pushing back above this downside line, above the 21-day EMA, and even better, push above the 15,269 territory right here. Yep, this is from where we could consider some higher levels. At the moment, the fact that it's still trading below the 15,093 territory, that of course kind of makes us a little bit worry, and we could maybe see this up move here as a temporary correction. So yeah, for now, guys, if it stays below this area, below this below this downside line and this hurdle, then yep, another slide could be possible. S&P 500. Now, yesterday, of course, the strong decline. We saw the index pushing further south, and yep, we ended up kind of testing this 4,068 territory right here. I've mentioned this level previously a while ago when I was covering S&P 500. Basically, for me, the downside was from this area right here, from the 4,147 zone, and well, we managed to reach some of the targets here. Of course, the main target still remains this upside line here, taken from the low the 30th of October. But to be honest, we do have a bunch of other upside lines which could still play out here, but these are a little bit more on the tentative side, although of course this one is also a little bit on the tentative side, but it seems to be a little bit more clear. So basically, if we take a look at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is trading at around 40,075 territory. So basically we are above yesterday's close, but still below the 4,118 territory right here, the one which we broke nicely yesterday. So if, in other words, I would say that even if we retrace a little bit higher here, if it stays below the 21-day EMA, then yep, another slide here towards this upside line could be possible. Dow Jones Industrial Average, and here the index also drifted heavily to the downside, fell below the 21-day EMA, and most importantly stayed below that 21-day EMA. So yeah, for now it's interesting to see if we can actually eventually reach this upside line taken from the low the 30th of October. This is a very good target. Let's see if we can reach that, but at the moment, guys, I will be very careful because the cash index is currently trading at around 33,593 zone, so just fractionally above yesterday's close. Now, another thing to keep in mind here is this little territory right here, this 33,687 zone, which yesterday got violated, and we saw the index staying below it. So kind of, let's put it this way: if the index remains below this hurdle, there is still a good chance for a potential test of this upside line, so keep that in mind. For me to consider the upside, well, of course, one of the areas that I'm going to be watching is this one right here, the 34,257 mark right here, and of course then, don't get me wrong, we do have a bunch of obstacles which could play out, but of course we'll go slowly on this one and carefully on this one as well. But basically, if it climbs back above the 34,257 territory here, this would also place the price above the 21-day EMA, and more buyers could join in. Silver is declining, so in a way this is all okay in terms of a in terms of seeing part of in terms of seeing a correction here, because we had a good run, and now the commodity is kind of drifting lower. So after we tested this the high here of this week near the 27.88 zone, that's basically the current highest point of May. And after we tested that area on Monday, then yep, we started drifting lower. We're still, let's say, in the corrective mode because we're still trading above this upside line taken from the low the 31st of March. So in a way, I will say that if we want to go for the upside, first of all keep your eyes on this upside line, and if we climb above it, then we'll be very careful right here. We need to probably, this is where I'm going to start considering the upside if we get a push above the 27.24 level here. That marks the low of the 10th of May and also the current high of today. So as you can see, this level today did provide a strong resistance. So this just kind of emphasizes on how important this level could be in the near-term future. So for now, basically, long story short, if we rebound from the upside line, then yes, we'll wait for a push above the this barrier here, the 27.24. And if that gets cleared, my next target is the 27.88 zone again, or this 28.32 territory marked by the highest point, actually the high of the 23rd of February. WTI oil, very quickly on this. So yep, drifting nicely to the downside, but as you can see, got a hold up near the lower side of the rising channel. So which means that basically we are keeping a close eye on this formation. If this is what I said to you this morning, that if we get a break through the lower side of the rising channel, and then we also can see the daily candle staying below the 63.80 territory right here, the one that's highlighted. Now this is where, yep, it could become very interesting for more sellers, so keep that in mind. For the upside, I still need to see that daily candle close above the 66.40 level in order to consider higher areas. Bitcoin Cash. So it's a real roller coaster ride here on Bitcoin Cash, and yep, we started yesterday we drifted lower, and understandable. Yesterday's kind of Musk's tweets did help a little bit here for the cryptos to decline. However, on the positive note, and this is what I've mentioned to you previously when I was covering Bitcoin Cash this week, that for me to consider the downside, I need to see the daily candle staying below this 1,218 zone, because yes, we keep getting an overshoot breaks here, but we're not really getting that daily candle to stay below it. So that's why it's still it's a tricky one. And yes, although we drifted lower today at one point, but we hit the 21-day EMA, which acted as a nice area of support, and from here we rebounded. And now the big question here is, can we climb back up? However, given the difficulty of this kind of, let's say, the difficulty of the pattern, I mean, at the moment, I would say it's a bit of a tricky one. I mean, on one hand, let me just probably rephrase this a little bit. So, because everything seems to be tricky lately. So, yeah. Now, what I'm going to show you here is that we might see a possible broadening triangle here, and basically we could still drift a little bit lower, but if it holds somewhere around here and then rebounds, then we could see another good push higher towards the upper side here, and or even maybe an exit through it and a push further north. So such patterns show up rarely, but when they show up, I mean, they tend to be continuation patterns still, but let's see, of course, if that's gonna be the case. But at the moment, yes, the fact that we're still holding above this 1,218 zone here, that of course, yes, gives a bit of hope here for the bulls, so keep that in mind. For the downside, if you want to go for some lower levels, guys, well, probably, well, not probably, but we'll keep an eye on this level, and if we do get the daily candle staying below it, then yes, we could consider a bit of a move further south, but again, we'll be very, very careful, because there are a bunch of levels that could provide support, and we could see a reversal back to the upside. AUD CAD. So quick update on this one, and so far so good. Everything is according to the plan. So basically what I mentioned recently when I covered this week AUD CAD is that if we get a good drop below the 0.9458 zone, then yes, lower levels could be met, and we could aim for that 0.93 territory. So it seems that so far we are on the right track, and we are aiming for that level. At the moment, guys, I would say that as long as it remains below this area, the one that it broke, the 0.9458, then yes, my next target is the 0.93 level. Quick update on USD CHF, also something that I picked up this week, so just wanted to see how everything's getting along here. But basically the initial idea was that if we get a drop below the 0.9027 territory right here, this could increase the chances for a further move south. It did move further south, however, it didn't really reach my target, the 0.8934. Well, to be honest, and what I said previously, that even if it starts retracing back up, as long as it remains below this area, below the 0.9027, yes, and we will continue aiming higher. But as you can see, it climbed above that area, and instead ended up testing this downside line, which continues to provide good resistance. Now, of course, if the US dollar starts strengthening, well, I mean, we could see this pair pushing further north. However, as I mentioned before, my preference here for the upside would be after a break of this hurdle, the 0.9165 territory right here, because at the same time we would have the rate placed above all of its EMAs. EURUSD. So this one is also interesting because, I mean, look at this one. If previously when I covered this pair, we were still within this kind of triangle pattern. We were coiling up here, but we broke through the lower side of it and drifted south, tested the 100-day EMA here shown as the green line, and we found support. Not far from this peak. Let me just mark this one on the chart. So, oh, not this one, but this one. So we found this support not far from this highest point of June of last year. Just kind of maybe fell shy a few points from reaching it, but maybe around 10 points actually, 10 pips. But this 1.0915 territory, I'll keep this one on the chart for now. You can see that we've reversed from this area and pushed higher. Now, we can ignore right now this line, but we'll keep an eye on this one, taken from the high of the 4th of March, this downside line. And in a way, there is a chance for this one to push north, further north, just because looking at this potential pattern, into the kind of combination of these three candles here, it seems that we are forming a possible bullish flag here. So we have our pole, we have a little kind of correction lower, but not a significant one. So keep your eyes on today's evening and tomorrow's trading, because again, like I said, or if let's say if it's going to end the week like this, then it will be quite interesting to see if this is going to work out as a nice bullish flag eventually for going into next week. So keep that in mind, guys. Euro against the Turkish lira, so just wanted to quickly pick up on this one, yeah, so basically I think, let me just double check very quickly, we're just very shy from hitting, well, we already came close to, actually fractionally near this area, fractionally from overcoming this area, this all-time high. And this is what I talked about this morning, guys, and this is what I mentioned to you this morning, that in a way, given the kind of the difficult situation right now in Turkey, yep, the Turkish lira is devaluating against its major counterparts, including here the euro. So now the big question here is, first of all, can we create a new all-time high? If we can, then yes, how far can this travel? Will it travel towards 11? Again, that's of course room for speculation, but at the moment, guys, we can only go from what we have. So for now, what I'm keeping an eye on here is, of course, this the current all-time high near the 10.2722 mark. We're basically near the 10.2720, so just fell shy of just a fraction of a pip to kind of hit that new all-time high, and yeah, so let's keep an eye on this one, guys. This is quite spectacular. And finally, EURUSD. So we've managed to rebound from the short-term upside support line. I've mentioned this one, but as I said to you before, that in order for me to consider the upside, I need to see a push above this area right here, the area between the 1.2182 and the 1.2190. So if we clear that, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and more buyers could join in. So keep that in mind, guys. So but for the downside, I'll also take a very conservative approach and wait for a drop below the 1.1990 level. So guys, that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful. This was a quick overview of a few instruments that we looked at this morning, some new ones of course, but yeah, I hope this was useful. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.